Today I'm at the South Hills location here in Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna walk you through how to put together a Halloween candy slide. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the items you're gonna need here. We got some PVC pipe. You're gonna need 2 different sizes of PVC pipe. You're gonna need 3-inch PVC pipe, all right? And you're also gonna need this 1-inch PVC pipe, okay? The 3-inch PVC pipe you're gonna use to make your candy shoot and slide. So you want it to be big enough so that the candy, whether you pack it up or not in little bags, can slide down that chute. These guys, the 1-inch, these are gonna be used to build your frame that's gonna hold the chute. Now, in addition to the PVC pipes, all varying sizes, the connectors that we're gonna need, such as these 3-ways and these elbows, all right? You're also gonna need something to cut the small PVC pipe. Now, if you notice, I got different sizes here. And the other thing that you're gonna need is a ruler and a marker so that you can go ahead and mark the PVC pipe where you take the measurements and then cut it. To cut the PVC pipe, you can use a couple different things. Let's say mom and dad are at home and they're avid makers or builders or do stuff around the house. And if you have a table saw or something like that, and mom and dad can show you how to use that safely, you can use one of those. Chances are we don't have one of those. I don't have one of those. And so what you can do is you can go get one of these really cool PVC pipe cutters. These are gonna be pretty cool and will work for your smaller PVC pipe. With your large PVC pipe like this 3-inch baby right here, this you wanna get pre-cut. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you can generally find these 3-inch PVC pipes already cut in 2-foot sections. And 2 of the 2-foot sections is generally all I need to create a safe enough distance. But if you want to include more, then you'll have to get 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how far you want your candy slide to go out, okay? And you'll have to get connectors for the 3-inch pipes to connect. So in this case, I have an elbow to connect it here, okay? And then you're gonna need what's called another coupling mechanism that's gonna couple these 2 together. Now, to cut your PVC pipe, you're gonna use one of these PVC pipe cutters. You can find these at Lowe's and Home Depot. They're usually somewhere between, I think, like $7, $10. And they'll last you a good while. You should be able to cut a number of PVC pipes with this before the blade goes dull. The other thing that you're gonna need, which is gonna be a little tricky to find, all right? These connectors right here. 1, 2, 3. These 3-way elbows for 1-inch PVC pipe. You're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those because you're gonna make 2 stands, and each of the 2 stands is gonna have 1, 2 of those, okay? Each of the stands are also gonna need 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the 90-degree elbows. And then each one is also gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 of the T's for the 1-inch PVC pipe. The 3-inch PVC pipe that we have here, remember, you wanna get that pre-cut already in 2-foot sections, but take a look. This cutter will not fit that 3-inch pipe. So another reason why you want to go ahead and make sure you get the 3-inch pipe already cut in individual sections. But with this one, you can get this in 2-foot, 4-foot sections, which would make it less expensive because the longer the length you get, the less expensive it is. But if you get that, you can go ahead and then cut it using these guys, okay? See how they close up like that? Okay. So that's closed. This is your nice safety mechanism to keep it from popping open. Unflip that, turn it over, all right? And then to open it up, you take the 2 handles and just pull it open like so, all right? And then if you're gonna make a measurement and a cut, let's say I want these 2 to be even. You see how they're not even. I want these 2 to be even, all right? So I can mark where I want to cut, okay? And then I can take my PVC pipe, all right? and then I can line it up, and I'm gonna line the line up with the blade that I marked, okay, and squeeze down, like so. And so here you go. See, there's the line right there where I took the measurement, and I'm gonna take my cutter and I'm gonna put it down and clamp it. You can see, and then it's cutting through. See the blade going through, making sure to keep your hands away from the blade and the ratchet, also making sure to keep your hand on the handles, nothing in between, because you can clamp yourself. You see this little ratchet part right here, you can get caught in that. Boom, it's now cut. Okay, so we got all of our pieces, and now it's time to go ahead and put this baby together, all right? So the first thing you want to do is work on building your stand. So if you take a look at the stand, I have the bottom of the frame put together already, all right? We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pieces of PVC pipe that should be about 3 inches in length. That's the 1-inch PVC pipe, okay? These, you can see, have the elbows in them already. This one is put together for the most part. I got another one here that's partially put together, so we're gonna walk through that. Okay, so I've got my candy chute built, all right? This is the initial frame and framework of the chute. This is what you want it to look like, at least basically, right? You can get creative with it if you want to create sort of dips and loops, but you just got to make sure that you test it when you build it. Make sure the candy goes from the top all the way down to the bottom and pops out down at the bottom of the chute, okay? You want to decorate it any way that you want. Today, I'm going to try getting this skeleton on here. I got this cool little skeleton. It's supposed to be motion censored and has lights in the eyes. I don't know if you can see it. All right. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to mount this on here. And the idea is to take this guy, all right, and put him on here so that the candy comes out of him here, all right? And then use this cover up the chute. Okay, so now that we have our chute built, there are a couple things that you want to do, okay? This is pretty good and it supports it fairly well, but it's a good idea to take a water hose and take it outside and fill this guy up with water, okay? And the reason why you're going to fill it up at the bottom is so that water can create a counterweight, much like if you're putting the tent out and you put sandbags down on the tent or the spikes to keep the wind from blowing it away. You want to do the same thing here. You can see right now without the water, it's pretty wobbly, all right? And that's going to make for a wobbly chute, and that'll make for a chute that might collapse on you while you're working on it, like you saw previously. So put that on. Make sure you use the lip of the attachment to anchor itself on to the back of the stand. And it's also a good idea to take something to secure this to the stand as well. So in this case, I'm going to use some tape to make sure it stays there, because I don't want to use anything permanent because I have to transport it. All right. there we go. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to arrange this guy where we can put it on here and the candy can come down the bottom underneath his ribs, and this will help cover it up. So I'm probably gonna have to cut this front part off right here so I can bring it to the back, all right? So, take this, all right, and make a little modification, okay. All right, so that should work. And now in the back of this guy is a little wire that allows me to turn them off and on like during the demo. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. All right. Okay. All right. So now, let's see if we can figure out a way to mount him on here. All right. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try using. Figure out a way to anchor him. Okay. All right. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll work. All right. So again, I'm going to take this just to see if maybe this will work as far as positioning and being able to get the candy down the slide. All right. Well, okay, all right, scissors. All right. Okay, so there he is. And then what I'll do is I'll take this little thing that it came with and I'll drape it over, like so. Okay. Take a little tape. I can tape that here. Again, not wanting to do really anything permanent right now because I'm just kind of playing around with design ideas. And this is what you want to do. You want to play around with design ideas. So I think what I could do at some point is I'll go ahead and paint the stands. Maybe try to make it look like the rest of the skeleton, or maybe I'll just make it black. If you have at home a handrail, you don't even need to really make the stands. If you have a handrail that goes the length of your chute, you can just take this and tape it to the handrail outside on your front porch, and then just drop the candy down that way. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and test the chute with some candy, see if the candy can make it all the way down, out behind the skeleton, make it look like it's coming out of the skeleton and into a basket. So I got a bunch of candy. I'm gonna try this candy and see if it comes down the chute. What I'm hoping is that if I did it right, it'll come down, it'll deflect off of the skeleton's ribs, and boom, go ahead and fall right into this bucket. So imagine this bucket is a happy little trick-or-treater coming by and wants to be socially distanced when they get their candy. They can just stick it underneath his ribs and the candy should pop right in there. Now, of course, with every good scientific experiment, you gotta have variables. In this case, our variables are gonna be different types of candy. Because there's so many different types of candy that are handed out, maybe all different types of candy would not make it through the chute. So that's why I have such a variety. First one going down, Smarties. Okay. It came down, but it fell behind the bucket and not in the bucket. So I'm gonna place the bucket here and try Smarties again. Boom, there we go, success. Next thing, I got some little Jolly Ranchers here. Let's drop those in. The Jolly Ranchers didn't go the same place that the Smarties went. Why do you think that is? Well, let's take a look. Jolly Ranchers, Smarties. Chances are, because these guys are different sizes and different weight, they came down, hit at a different angle, and then were deflected at a different angle because they're different in size and in mass. So again, the importance of having variables when you test things. Let's see what the Smarties do. Same thing. We got one Smartie came down, but the other two deflected and went elsewhere. Looks like we're gonna need a larger bucket with a larger mouth so we can have a greater chance of catching all the candy when it comes down. All right, let's take a different look and angle at this. Let's see if we can see what happens when the candy is coming down the chute. We're gonna change camera angles. So this is your basic Halloween chute. You can certainly make it your own by decorating it the way that you want and adding all kinds of paint colors to it and whatever theme you want. But one of the other things that you can do is you can actually do things like drill holes in here and add little sensors that can detect how fast the candy is going down the chute. Another thing that you might want to think about doing is putting a pressure sensor here at the point of contact where the candy is bouncing off, and then you can measure the force with which the candy hits that point. You can then compare different types of candy as they go down the chute, and you can see if there's an increase or decrease in speed based on the candy type, or you can see if there's an increase or decrease in pressure based on the candy type. These are just some of the cool things that you could really do to expand how cool and awesome this candy chute can be. The other thing we encourage you to do is to go ahead and make your own version of this candy chute, and make sure you tag us on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're also on Facebook. We look forward to seeing your cool creations and sharing it with the world. Stay safe.